Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The NG Show. And we just did a cheers. Thank you to the beautiful ladies. It's been 10 years of The NG Show. My first episode aired February 2014. Yes, 2014. So it's been 10 years.
10 years.
I know. I'm very
Feels
excited.
like yesterday for me.
Right? She said it feels like, girl, stop. Just stop, please. On today's episode, I have the lovely Abby and Amara here with me. I'm gonna let them introduce you.
AAs.
Hey, oh wow, I never thought about
Amara
that.
and Abby.
Hey, Gen Z mommy. Sorry. You'll see why.
Hi, my name is Abby. What am I supposed to say?
Whatever.
I've got two boys, and they are 25 and 22, named Jensen and Timmy. And on a day-to-day basis, I manage investment properties, and vocationally, I run emotional intelligence workshops for children and teenagers. So social emotional learning.
And she does videos on.
So I go into the minds of teenagers and kids.
That's
That's what I do.
This particular mind. Hold on. Amara, introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Amara and I'm representing the Gen Zs, the Gen Alphas, straddling the both generations.
Yeah.
I go to school on a day-to-day basis, that's what I do. And I like learning, so I think it's not too much of a hassle. I have friends, we go out, those type of things. But on the side, I have a lot of hobbies. I like keeping myself busy, and I'm the founder of an NGO called Preserve Our Roots. It's by youth for youth, really focusing on youth empowerment and our voices.
See her hand. See her hand.
hand.
And you just wrote a book.
Yeah.
What's the name of your book?
It's called For We Are Curious.
For We Are Curious.
Right.
For We Are Curious. And what's the gist in it?
It's more of like a poetry compilation talking about how we have to pay more attention to the things around us, really talking to the youth, focusing on being present in our reality and our surroundings in a fast-paced technological world, and noticing the things that make us thrive and be curious.
You see, this episode is called Then
Interesting.
versus Now.
Yes.
And all I'm thinking to myself is when I was 15.
Were you thinking
I
of...
was not. Amara has gone. Amara has gone. She has gone far. She has gone far, but I love it. I absolutely
Yes.
love it because it's also because, well, I won't say because there's information at their fingertips, but I know that when we were young, there were people my age, 15, that were reading Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yes.
It was for fashion in our house. It would just be on the shelf.
Yes.
I never
yes,
touched it.
Yes. No.
Not a day.
Neither did I. We would be outdoors.
It leads me to
Right.
my first thing.
We'll be outdoors.
Let's talk about you growing up. So when you were 15, Amara, how old are you now?
15.
15.
Yeah.
When you were 15, what was a day in life for you?
To be honest, I went to boarding school. So when I was 15, I was in boarding school. But I'd like to think about the times when I went home, like be on holiday, and it would be because I lived in like an estate, and the estate was called Festac, and so you had loads of closes and loads
and you
of
guys,
roads.
it's just you don't know now, but
Loads-
first tag back then.
Yes, Festac back then, and there were loads of roads and loads of closes as well, and each close would connect to another close. So you would go to see your friends, and it would be one person leave home and then walk through the close, and then there's a big like a playground. You go past that and you go into the next close, and you knock on someone's door and they'll come out, and then we'll go into another close, and we could go round that way and then end up in like a playground.
In a big group.
In a big group.
Yeah.
And it was just about physically just being together and being able to chat and just gist and just talk about all sorts of things. So that was what,
That was a
you know,
typical day
that
while
was
you're
a
at home
typical,
on
yes.
holiday. Yeah.
We'll just go into the stores. We'll go to Mr. Biggs and go and get,
Meat pie.
meat pie.
When there was still meat in the pie.
When there was still meat in the pie. So that was literally it, and everyone knew each other. Everyone knew each other's parents
In the
And
neighborhood.
in the neighborhood. And when
Yes.
parents saw you outdoors, they would know, oh, this is my child's friend, sort of thing. And also at the same time, it kind of put you in check when it came to behaving
because
yourself.
Abby's mom will see me.
Yeah,
And she
exactly.
She don't tell your mama.
Exactly,
She gon'
exactly.
You're with which boy where?
Yeah, exactly. So that was
Let's tackle back.
that was a typical day.
Yeah,
That was a typical day.
And for
in
you
my
today,
days.
Hanging out with friends.
physically.
Physically.
No, she's
Honestly, when you were describing that, it was almost like not a fantasy per se.
I love
No,
that.
but
She
it
said
was like
fantasy.
ideal because I feel like nowadays not only is it so much like living in Lagos as a 15, 16, 17-year-old, there's a lot of restrictions. I mean, I'm talking from a more middle upper class standpoint, but you know, you have to be like, the traffic, how long would it take to get to the place? How much would
Yeah.
it cost? Who's going to
Yeah.
pay? Whose parents is going to be there? My
Yeah.
parents are always worried about kidnappers. They've been sending me all these like all these like
Yeah.
polls about
Forwarding
kidnapping.
messages.
Yeah, so
Be careful.
even-
This.
Yeah, even the ability to go out, especially if you don't live in an estate. I just recently moved into one, and that has been helpful, but it's still hard. You see the houses, you know that there are children inside, but just going and being able to talk to them because there's a barrier now. Like, I mean,
You know that is so
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about this episode,
Yeah.
honestly, because let me tell you, we know that there are differences, but we actually don't think about them. Listen to what she just said. She said, you know there are children in that house,
Yeah.
but there's a barrier going there to go and knock.
Yeah.
Because now, and I'm in the middle of the both of you,
Yeah.
age-wise and all that, and in our time as well, because I think the tech boom hadn't happened,
Yeah.
we used to just go out and play, and there were no phones. Nobody was calling you to say, whose house are you in now? And then when it's kind of like sundownish, you start to make your way back
Yeah.
home.
And if there were phones, they were locked.
Oh, they were always
And don't forget there were yeah.
I used to
Because
tap
yeah, you just tap the phones.
until that NEPA bill came like
And
a
then-
fax.
Yes, exactly.
But so it's very, very different now. It's very different now, but it's a normal for you, so it doesn't feel like you missed out. It's just what is. But do you sometimes think about that
Yeah.
time and wonder?
no, when I hear stories about like, oh, I would ride, like, I remember my cousin, she lives in the US, and she was like, you guys don't all ride bikes here. Like, I thought that
No,
was a basic
no,
occurrence.
we
I was like, no.
know.
They're like, you just ride
On
your
what
bike to your
road?
friend's house. I was like,
And-
where?
Lekki Express.
Yeah.
I'll be riding the bike down to
No.
go to
Yeah.
my friend's house.
No.
But like, it's definitely something that I think about a lot, especially because like, you know, not like idealism, but almost like wishing, almost like, because I'm someone who's tries to be more detached to their technology. So I see
Right.
the difference between how hard it is to like
Yes.
disconnect when everyone is so connected.
Yeah.
It can almost isolate you. So you might feel like you want to like
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
be connected.
So let me, for you, you have a 25-year-old, you have a 22-year-old. They grew up in England.
Correct, yes.
How was their own time? I mean, it's almost the same as Amara's time, to be honest. It's not that far apart, but
Right.
you know, do you let them go out and play on the street?
So
Were you letting them go out and play on the street at that age?
no, not necessarily, but you have to take them to those places. So,
So now the onus is on you as a mom.
yeah,
too.
yeah. As a mom, it was the onus was on me to actually make sure that they had like play dates, take them to extracurricular activities so that they can meet other kids. But at the end of the day, you still get to take them. But those activities are available anyway. They are there. So you sort of just, you know, pick the ones that you need to pick and then just take them to those places. But
It's such a different
but
world. I really
still,
don't even-
yes, it's a different world. So still, you do have to take them, and you do have to, like, know where you're taking them to. So there were days when my son would want to go out, and I would say, "Can I have your friend's mom's phone number?"
Yes, so that I know.
Right.
If I
so
don't
that
know
I
the
know.
mom, yes.
But when I was growing up, it wasn't like that. Our parents knew each other because the kids went into each other's homes. Right.
true.
We just pressed the bell.
Just press the bell.
And the
That
kids
can
would come
Tolu
out.
come out?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And with Tolu was grounded, Tolu's not coming out
No,
today.
Tolu's not coming out today.
Ooh, she
That's
don't messed
so
up.
funny.
Tolu don't messed up. Tolu's not, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like when I was like 15, 16, 17-year-olds now, even like 14, like the entire age group, what we now have to like rely on is our phones. And I mean, I understand that people still interact with each other, but it's mostly people whose families know each other. So it also like limits your social group, your ability to interact and learn new perspectives, to be able to like have life experiences that you can draw from. I mean, like even being able to like call someone and like go to their house until you're 13, 14, you don't even have a phone. So most times are
We
actually
didn't
just
have
spent.
phone. Go and press
Yes.
their bell.
We didn't have phones.
Bing, we didn't have. Go and
We didn't have
Oh
phones.
my God.
But it's not
The-
their fault, to be honest. It's because
The parents
it's
have
like,
said that they can
without a
kidnap
phone,
you.
it's almost as though you don't have an arm.
Yeah, because that's what
That's what
9-year-olds
it's
are
like with
getting
you.
in now.
It's like you are missing an arm without a
9-year-olds
phone.
are getting it now,
Yeah,
10-year-olds
exactly.
because
Getting
they
more
need it.
phones?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
with COVID-19, everyone needed to have a device to like get online, to actually have a social life, because community is like the roots of a person.
That's another thing. What COVID? Let's
Yeah.
How do you so let's talk about music, and because I love music.
Me too.
So I do. So growing up, we didn't. Okay, no. Let's start with you, Abby.
Yeah.
How when you were growing up, what did you listen to?
So late 80s,
So like if you went to a party with your friends,
we would listen to Usher, we would listen to SWV.
you had Usher. You didn't have Usher.
Yes, we did.
And your late 80s, which Usher now?
90s,
No,
early
you-
90s. No, my late 80s would be.
Your teens.
So do you want me to tell the year I was born now?
No, you don't have to tell them the year you were
Ah.
born, but we already know you're in your 50s. My point is that my point is that
Okay,
when
what
you
about
were
S-
when you were in
when I was
SS2,
18.
when you were in SS2, when you were like your last year of high school or 11th grade, the one before the last year
The
of high
Queen
school.
Latifahs?
Really?
Yes, now.
You had
yeah.
Queen Latifah. Okay, yes, you would have had
Yeah.
Queen Latifah.
We danced to what are they called?
I know what you mean. But Queen Latifah and that kind of
Yes,
music.
yes,
Okay, so
that
you had
sort of
that.
music,
and
yes.
I want that's what I wanted. You tell
Yeah.
me now what your people are listening to.
So our people are
Your or
definitely...
not your people. What do you listen
You
to?
listen to?
Okay, so for me, I have like a varied music taste personally, and I think because we have so much access to music now, there's
Yeah.
different like. So sometimes I listen to like Afro beats. Of course, we have Burna, we have Rema, we have Davido, but then
Yeah.
also like maybe a lot of people. I listen to like Kanye West.
Yeah.
I listen to like Daniel Caesar, Thames,
Yeah.
SZA.
You guys are so lucky. Just
And
to
then-
hear
Yeah.
Afrobeat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know, I was saying that the only Nigerian music we listened to was when like Shina Peters came
Yes.
up. And,
P
like,
Square.
Yes. P Square?
No, P
No.
Square.
Oh,
my dear, I
they
was
came
even
out
married when-
later.
I was already
Yeah,
married
they
when
came
P
out-
Square.
they
P Square
came
was
out.
later. We had the Afro Jojo Shina Peters. I think I loaded. Yeah. So we had Shina Peters, but most of our music, indeed, you're right, was
Yeah.
American hip hop.
Yes,
and
correct,
rap
yeah.
and you know, and
Yeah.
then our parents and I have my music taste. I go all the way back to like I love oldies. I
Yeah,
love
Yes,
even now people
yes.
still listen to
Yes, I
oldies.
love
Yes,
oldies, but like
yeah.
my
Richmond.
parents' music,
Yeah, yeah.
country music, all
Yes.
that kind of stuff.
Outkast,
She said Outkast. That's
Outkast?
oldies.
Biggie.
Oh,
Oh,
bless.
that's oldie to you?
Yes, it is oldie.
No, oh, it's
an oldie.
it's like
my
Abby is
God.
an oldie. Honey, do not apologize. It's an oldie because you were not.
Yeah, because
Born.
yeah.
When-
I was born
when
in
to-
2007.
When
there you
Tupac
go.
was shot, were you here?
No, but I watched the doc.
But you watched
No,
it.
but you ain't
But
here.
you heard about it. So it's huge. My dear, do not apologize about that. What about what do you think influences how you guys dress today
Honestly, it's like
when you're not in uniform?
it's the movies that we watch, artists. I think also now like independent brands. So what's trending is being more of like unique in how you dress.
Yes.
So always when you see like a classroom with people, if it's like a mufti day, everyone will be wearing something different because
Right.
it's always about like standing out,
Self-expression?
self-expression.
Right.
So if people will be wearing different colors, different plaids, I don't think we have like people call it like I think they call it not alternative, but they call it like
Alter, it is.
Alter.
Yeah. She doesn't want to call it alter.
Alter, the
Alter.
Nigeria, like
Yeah.
it's dressing your
Alter.
own way. And
Yeah.
I think so. It's not really a way we dress, but like how we dress. To, like,
Yeah,
express
and
ourselves.
sometimes it just, to me, sometimes it just doesn't look right.
I think they're doing the most. They're trying to be different. You're not
That
gonna do-
self-expression, I think
There's
some people
someone
are
I
just
saw-
doing,
There's someone I
overdoing.
saw recently on Instagram, and I don't know who she is. I feel bad.
Yeah.
Girl, keep doing your thing. People are noticing, but I'm just like, she now like, oh, look how I wore my jeans, and she uses her jeans and makes it a top. Like,
Right,
the
yes,
trousers.
yes, the trousers.
Oh, tuck the
yes.
I have to
jeans in.
say,
There's a lot of that now.
I saw like a 22-year-old who wore these jeans,
Yeah.
but they were like jeans, but they were upside down. So like the
That's
flaps,
right, yes.
the flaps were
Yeah.
like the actual.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but
Oh,
it was, but that was how it was designed. This one took the
She
trouser,
actually took the trousers. She can turn it.
turned it upside down and did it
yeah.
like this and crossed it over
Yeah,
and belted
and it's a
it.
top.
And it's a top. And I was like,
Yeah. Just go to the shop.
you people are just you have a job back here.
Just go to the shop.
But what do you think for your time it was more herd mentality, or do you think people also tried to stand out at the time?
No, I don't think people try to. So if there was always some sort of trend.
That's
So it's either we're all wearing jeans, right, or we're all wearing mini skirts,
mini skirts, or we're wearing lumberjacks.
or we're wearing lumberjacks.
Do you know? Can I
Or we're all wearing Timberlands.
let me interrupt you.
Right?
We literally said, you know, now if someone wants to have a theme party,
Yeah.
they say, oh, it's 60s.
Yeah.
Or it's 70s, or
Yes,
it's 80s. No,
yes.
there's nothing.
Twen-
Even if you call it 2020s,
Yeah.
what is it?
Yeah.
or 2000s.
Yeah, what
it doesn't-
is that?
It's not.
Yes.
It's nothing.
Because
Yeah.
some
Because
people will
everybody's just
wear-
they have got mad.
No, they're expressing themselves, so there's
not
no.
so- it's
I like it
self-expression.
though, because personally, like if you say like, do you guys know what motives are?
motives.
It's more for the Lagos audience, but it's like during the Decembers and the summers, people have like not parties, but like festivals that the
Right.
youth go to, Denzies
Yes.
and Alphas.
Yes.
And I went to one called Street Soup where people were selling clothes. But everywhere I looked, there was a different generation. There were different outfits. Someone
Right.
was wearing like a little 60s, like UK, investigator type outfit. And I was wearing more like alternate. Like
Yeah.
people just dressed up in their own colorful type of way. And it was
Yeah.
like art in front
Maybe
of
that's
you.
just the
Nothing
way
is
things.
remaining again.
Maybe
Nothing
that's
is
just the way things are going now.
Yes, that is the
Maybe
way.
that's
things
just
do.
the way.
The recent episodes that I'm making now, one
Yeah.
theme is running through it.
Yeah.
There are no more rules. It has
Yeah.
all blended.
Yeah.
I had a conversation about fashion. They said men wear women's fashion. Women.
Yeah.
I walked into a place wearing a boo-boo. A guy walks in wearing the same boo-boo. as
Boo-boo,
me. Like,
exactly.
There's not. It's all blended. It's
Yeah.
a good
Skirts as well, like big skirts.
skirts.
Yes.
We just talked about it.
Nigerian now.
Yes.
Yes.
The men are wearing skirts.
Yeah.
So, what about growing up in the household? Now, let me phrase the question differently. There were
Yeah.
things that we're talking about malt drinks. Malt drinks in Nigeria, it's a
Yeah.
cultural thing. I mean, in the
Timeless.
West, it's not a thing. But for us here, malt drinks were a thing growing up. But now, I feel like it's gone. Were malt drinks a staple for you guys?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Okay. But then when you
Absolutely.
moved to England, your children, that wasn't a staple
No, of
for
course
them.
not.
Is it?
They look at it and they're like, "What's that?
Why? Ew.
What's that?" Because
It's a
they are.
Nigerian drink.
Yeah, but also when they're in, I think in the Western world, the kids are looking forward to turn 16 pretty quickly, so they can go on to alcohol.
Is it 18 or 16?
16?
18, 18,
Okay.
18.
She was like, that is a common.
No,
No,
18.
no,
Why, you want to
no.
move to the UK?
No.
So yeah, it was
so
all
they
about,
can move to alcohol.
yeah, so they can move to alcohol.
And you, what for you when you think about staples for you guys?
I think I
Beverages.
do have like my staple childhood drinks. I remember that I would always go to Talk Shop to buy like that was like, but that's all like it was.
Those kind of drinks.
There was like all like
So
soft drinks.
the malt drinks didn't feature.
No, the thing is that like if anything, it's always looked at as nostalgia, which is like because now I'm like 15, 16. Like looking back maybe when I was 10, 11, but like at parties, they would be there. It's always at my house because my mom works in that sector. But I know that it was always something that was present. Like it was a presence, but I never really like feel like I would carry it on, like, gala, I would like think
Yeah.
about plantain chips.
So maybe because you saw it as something for the older generation.
Yeah, it wasn't
for
anything.
the moms, for the
No
moms'
kids I knew enjoyed
friends,
it.
but not for the kids.
Sorry,
Oh dear.
no, but
She
like
said no kids I knew enjoyed it.
because I feel
We're
like
gonna have to get back to the young people.
for malls, like I know that we would always give it out for people for gifts, and they would always be happy anytime like it's a hot summer day and my the driver who's working with us is like tired. If you just like, do you want a cold malt?
Malt.
Thank you, and you drink it.
You want a cold malt? Thank you.
And it's like it gives people energy. I've always known that malts can be like someone will be tired and they'll give them malt and they're like
And
You have the energy.
energized.
yeah.
So it's a functional beverage.
Functional
2
benefit.
malts a day keeps the doctor away. Oh my
doctor
God.
away.
Okay, so that's staple drinks.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to talk about is communication, which I think is the one that has the biggest gap. Like when Amara, did you do boarding school at all?
Yes.
Okay. When you're in boarding school and you need to get in touch with your mom, dad, what do you do?
Call them, FaceTime.
Face. With
Yes.
what phone?
iPhone, or I can do it with my laptop as well. I have a MacBook. So I can just FaceTime them. If not, WhatsApp has video call. And then right now I used to go to boarding school in the US, so I could FaceTime my friends there, and it keeps you like in contact with everyone you feel close to.
Right.
You can keep up a relationship, like have like night calls. Like I have calls with my friends in the UK till like 2 a.m.
So across time zones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Communication.
So when
What's-
you were in boarding
what's that-
school,
Don't remind me.
I know, I'm so sorry, it's so traumatic. You know, when I was going into boarding school, after primary school in Lagos, my dad decided that time that she's going to a federal school.
Yeah.
My father made me take the exam and he shipped me off to Federal Government Girls College.
You said
Shipped. It was a
Shipped.
ship. I spent 1 term, I mean 2 terms there.
Yeah.
Nobody told him.
Yeah.
They brought me straight back to Lagos Primary
Yeah.
School. What?
Yeah.
What?
You couldn't, the only time, because I went to boarding school as well, but the only time I saw my parents was during visiting day.
Yes.
And when
were
they
you
come,
sure?
you're not sure if they'll show up either.
You just stand there.
You're not sure. And there are times where and so you see like a group of us who have not seen our parents, but one person's parents has come. And we all go towards that.
And
that
parent.
parent cooks enough rice for everybody.
Yes, enough for everybody. But the main thing is in between. So if you're going through things in boarding school,
That's what I was going to say.
there really is no one to talk to except for your peers, except for your friends. There's no calling mommy, there's no calling daddy, except maybe if you have a friend who's a day student.
If you went to a school that was close enough to town.
Yeah, that you could write
nobody was a day student.
Exactly. So you write a letter and send home.
Via night post. God,
so you could have this friend that you give the letter to, say maybe on a Monday.
Yes.
And when she shows up on the Tuesday, did you drop it? And she go,
I forgot it was in my school.
I was doing my homework. So your parent might not get that letter until the weekend after.
Join me because I'm going to come back with the concluding part of this episode.